Why Not? A queer podcast.
Thank you to our sponsor, Pineapple Healthcare, an award-winning primary care clinic right here in Orlando.
Pineapple Healthcare offers mental health counseling, HIV, STI testing and treatment, and specializes in care for the LGBTQ plus community.
Open Monday through Saturday. Call today at 407-553-6336 and schedule your appointment.
Pineapple Healthcare. Better together.
Hi, everybody. I'm Rick Todd.
And I'm Jeremy Williams, and you're listening to
Why Not? A queer podcast.
Episode 147.
Yeah.
All right.
Listen, this is going to be a fun one because we're sans Caitlin right now.
Yes, we're Caitlin-less.
And that it just means everything is crazy.
Yeah.
We're right.
And possibly working, maybe?
Yeah,
We're not
so
sure.
we ran a test, and we don't know if you can hear us. So let us know. Give us a shout. Let us know.
I hope so, because I can feel this is going to be a really good one.
Oh, also, so we're recording. It's like 8:30 in the morning. We were going to do it at 9, which is probably why Caitlin's not here. She's expecting, at 9, and we had to do 8:30 because they're doing something in your building where they're going to shut power off.
Yeah. I was going to talk about this in my week, but I'll mention it now. I think they are selling the building I live in. I think the owner is selling it because a few weeks ago, he came by, I'm going to use air quotes, for the annual checkup with an inspector. And I was like, you do this annually? That seems weird to have an inspector inspect the building. But all last week, they were painting all the interior, the hallways, the doors, the railings. Everything got a fresh coat of paint. They're coming in today to do some electrical work, so the power will be going in and out because Con Edison's in. I think he's getting the building up to code, we'll say. I'm sure it's up to code. I don't want to indict myself on by saying that the building's not under code, but he's just getting it all spruced up because I think that he's selling it. So yeah, got an email saying that starting at 10 a.m., the electric would be cutting off and on for a little bit while they do some maintenance. So I was like, well, that's not going to be good for the podcast.
No.
So we do a little bit early.
Hey, you know what else isn't good for the podcast? When I arrived today, a Spectrum truck pulled up outside the office. Yeah. And so already while we were trying to do this earlier and it cut out.
Yeah,
so there we are.
It's funny, when you sent me the photo of the Spectrum truck, it made me realize I have Spectrum. And it reminded me of when I first moved to Orlando in 2008. I was in a car accident. And both he and I had Geico. And Geico was doing everything they could to make sure that they paid as little to each of us as possible. And I'm like, listen, it's all in the family. Just cut us both a check and let us go. That's how I felt when you sent that. I was like, oh, we're under the Spectrum umbrella. Hopefully, they don't screw us up.
So we'll see.
Because that's 2 cable companies that will be canceled. Anyway, we'll see how it goes. Yeah.
Who's the other one?
I meant you and me. Cable we'll cancel our cable.
Okay.
I guess it's 1 cable company and 2 unhappy customers.
Like, wait, what did I miss in the news? What happened?
Well, more than 2 unhappy customers with Spectrum, I'm sure. Anyone who has Spectrum can attest to that. But, they're fine. They're okay.
All right. So
anyway,
147. What kind of? I got to tell you, it's not. 147 is a good number for me.
No, there wasn't a lot of good stuff out there. I did find a couple of things. I am not a sportsy guy, but apparently 147 is very important in the game of snooker, which is a billiards game. It says I
love it. You can tell that you're not a sports guy because you just called snooker a sport.
No, here's why. Because in the information I pulled up, it says the number 147 is most famous in the sport of snooker. So Google calls it a sport, and I do whatever Google tells me. But apparently 147, it's called 147 or snooker because 147 is the maximum potting on all 15 red balls with black balls. Achieving a 147 break is a rare and celebrated event. I know nothing of this, air quotes again, sport. I do have a little tidbit here, though. While 147 is the maximum break, the highest possible score is actually 155, which can occur only when an opponent fouls and a free ball is awarded. This has never been achieved in a professional tournament.
You know how little I know about snooker is that I thought it was a card game. I saw the fact. I had to Google, what is it?
Billiards. This information comes from ESPN.com. So if it's on ESPN, it's got to be a sport, right? Probably on ESPN 8, the Ocho. Remember that? Is that still a thing? Remember the Ocho?
On SNL?
No. ESPN has they have ESPN, ESPN 2, ESPN 3. And for in the mid 2000s, you had ESPN Ocho, which was 8. And it was all the weird, this stuff, stuff that is kind of sports, but not really sports.
Wasn't there an SNL skit that was called Ocho or something? And I just remember there being this wedding and everybody laughed and looked at the camera and went, Ocho. So
sounds weird. Probably something they do.
Very weird. Or I could have just
been on SNL, what's this thing? A couple of weeks ago, the cold opening, because it's mostly political, but the cold opening was, Domingo? Was that his name? What is the deal with that? That seems to be an inside joke that I'm not privy to.
What do you mean? What's the...
I don't. They all say, everybody was acting like it's this big thing, everybody knows about who Domingo is.
Oh, it's
I have no idea what that was.
They've done the skit 10 times. That's why.
Oh, have they?
And it's always.
How have I missed
it? And it's always Andrew Duzanukes is always with his girlfriend. And she's always celebrating something, and she goes on a girls' night out, and she sleeps with Domingo. And they all sing, and it's always when there's a host as a singer, and then they all come out and they sing poorly, and that's the shtick, which irritates me because it's they can sing. You know? There's some singer recently that's supposed to do the show, and they asked her about that, and she says, "No, I think Domingo's retired," meaning she doesn't want to get on there and sing terribly.
Oh yeah, Ariana Grande was talking about it, but I was watching it, and first of all, terrible skit for their cold open.
Yeah, I don't even know why.
Stick with the politics.
Yeah, just, why would you open with the skit? Open with something that's it doesn't have to be politics, but just something that's relatable, in the news, anything.
Yeah, or something I got because I totally didn't get that. I don't know how I've missed every Domingo sketch.
I don't really care for it so much, except that I find him extremely sexy.
Oh yeah,
and so anytime that he's in a skit, I'm up for it. So more of him.
All right, what else? I got some quick little things here. In the Bible, the patriarch Jacob, who apparently is renamed Israel by God, died at the age of 147. So lived a long, healthy life.
Yeah. Do you know, I want to say, here's I think the difference between my computer and yours is that, or my chat GPT and your Google, is I think my chat GPT is Jewish. Because I found the exact same fact, but here's how mine wrote it. Okay. Jewish tradition notes 147 years as the lifespan of Jacob in Genesis 47:28, and that 147 symbolizes a life of completeness and covenant fulfillment.
So Google reads the Bible and ChatGPT reads the Torah,
and
apparently
Bing the Quran. No, I don't know.
No.
We're just this.
Bing's an atheist.
I don't use Bing.
Let's see. Historical dates. Macedonia became a Roman province in 147 BC, which is, again, key to early Christianity. That's, I guess, a religious and a historical one. I don't watch this show. It's a sci-fi sitcom called Red Dwarf. It's British.
That's how they can get away with it.
Yeah, apparently 147 has something to do with that show. It says something about level 147 has to do with Red Dwarf. So if you watch Red Dwarf, you're probably be yelling at your radio right now how stupid I am for not understanding.
Stupid old man.
Nerd.
Speaking of old man, can I just say this real quick? You're familiar with Bellany? You hired her.
I did, yes.
So we asked this to Bellany the other day because we realized recently that Bellany was not alive when I started working at Watermark. So
No, she
Yeah.
would not be. Yes.
Which made me super happy and not at all getting ready to sell the company and go do something else in my life. No, I'm just kidding. So we asked her what she thought middle-aged and old was.
And what did she say?
I want you to guess. Guess what she thinks middle-aged is.
She probably thinks middle-aged is like 35.
She totally does. Exactly 35.
Oh.
And old is like 45. I was like, then what am I, dead?
No. I remember being a kid and commenting to my mother that 40 is old. And she was like in her 40s at the time, or just approaching 40 or something. And her just being like grossly offended. And she's like, you will understand when you turn 40. And she's right, I do. When I turn 40, I'm like, I'm not old. But I mean, I think the average median age, at least for American men, is like 78 before they die. So we are well over middle-aged.
Yeah, I think it's a state
We're
of
on the
mind,
down.
though. Is it
We're on the.
It's like when you have that
Yeah.
crisis of like you realize that you're not getting better, you're only getting worse.
Yeah, you know how sad it is to look in the mirror and think, this is the best? Everything after this is worse than this?
Look, I'll tell you what,
sad.
when I felt like that when I was 49 years old. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm 40. I was 49 years old and I was fat. And I said, when I turn 50, I will turn 50 on a cruise ship and I will look like I want to look. And I worked very hard to get there. And I went on that cruise and I ate everything and I got fat again.
Yeah, it happens.
I got rid of some of it again, but I just can't get down to where I was. But that's it.
What that story tells me is just give up. Just give up and do whatever you want. You're always going to look like this.
I was thinking about that. I actually said to myself this morning while I was in the shower and I was thinking about what I was going to have for lunch because it's the season of Santa's White Christmas ice cream. And so I'm not going to be in town. We usually kick off eating that flavor of ice cream at Thanksgiving, but I'm going to be out of town. So I bought it last night and ate it. And while I was in the shower today, I just said, just eat whatever you want for lunch. Just give up. Like, just let the season go. You're going to eat everything you want from now until the end of the year. Just do it. So I gave up.
I was hoping that story was I was in the shower eating my ice cream.
It was only getting wet with my tears.
But yeah, I mean, particularly with the holidays, it's okay to splurge. You're married, you're settled down. Who are you impressing?
The thing is we just had that garage sale and I sold all of my size 34s. So I refuse to do anything that I refuse to buy clothes that I just sold.
I hear you.
They were all new and nice, and I got rid of all of them because I'm like, I'll stay as a 32. Anyway, what else you got? What else you got number wise?
Last one I got is Pokemon 147.
Oh, no.
We don't have Caitlin here, so she can't tell me if I'm mispronouncing
this. What you should
this.
do is just make up a fucking word.
It's goobly gob.
He's an ancient bird with a turtle beak. I don't know.
This one actually, Tratini, is a dragon type Pokemon. Although it looks like a snake or a worm. And you know what it looks like? When you, if you've ever looked up pictures, and I think a lot of people did this after RFK Jr. Went to office. If you look up parasitic worms, it looks like a parasitic worm. But in Pokemon world, it grows to be 6 feet long.
What's its name again?
Dratini, Dratini. Dratini.
Oh, it sounds
like martini.
That sounds like something Dylan would drink. Can you get me a Dratini? Oh, he's cute little. Oh, if I had a brain worm, I'd want it to look like that.
Yeah. Well, not that one particularly because it grows to be 6 feet long, and then
that's a lot.
That's a lot of brain. That's a lot of brain. So yeah. So, it also sheds many layers of skin as it grows. Sounds disgusting. I don't Pokemon, but this one sounds disgusting. Anyway, that's my 147.
You and I used to talk every day, and we don't anymore. So we really just use this podcast to catch up.
Yeah, to catch up.
I apologize. I'm going to do this. I'm going to Facebook Messenger you something that just popped up as my memory for Facebook. You're not gonna like it, but it cracks me up, so I'm sending it to you. So there you go.
Oh, that's when I pulled up Facebook this morning. Oh, good Lord.
It's a picture of my dog, and I know you hate photos of dogs.
I don't hate photos of dogs. I
dogs in
don't
clothes.
understand people who dress dogs in clothes.
Listen,
and she's wearing a little pink dress.
This is when I first got. I have a puggle named Amber, and she's beautiful, and I love her, and she's adorable. But when I first got her, we put a little Christmas dress on her, and she had like the worst underbite. So she looks like she's full on teeth smiling in this photo, and it's adorable. Anyway.
Lovely dog.
Did you have anything else you
Lovely
wanted to say
dog.
about this brainworm?
No, that's about it. Just a disgusting Pokemon.
So I don't have too much to add. I mean, the things that you said are the things that I have, but I do have the old standards, and they might be a fun guessing game for a hot second, and then they won't be. Let's see. Here we go. Friends, episode 147, season 6, episode 23.
Okay, so last week was the I'm a neat guy. So this is the one where he cries, where Rachel makes Bruce Willis's character open up, and all he does is cry all episode. And so she breaks up with him.
It is not mentioned in the description I have. It says nothing about him.
Let's see what else happens.
The only thing it does say in this
the one where Chandler gets the ring, right?
The one with the ring. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's the same episode. Yeah, Chandler gets the ring with Phoebe, and she's got the musket.
Okay.
She gets trapped, and she's like, "Let me out!"
This is the plot says here: Chandler shops for an engagement ring for Monica with Phoebe's help, but Joey accidentally buys it for his girlfriend. Ross's relationship with Elizabeth hits turbulence.
Joey doesn't buy it for his girlfriend. Chandler and Phoebe go ring shopping, and he needs to go buy he forgot his credit card, so he goes to grab the credit card, and Phoebe's supposed to guard the ring, and another guy buys it. So Chandler and Phoebe have to go to the restaurant where he's going to propose to his girlfriend, and they tell him that Phoebe is his dying fiance, and that all she wants to do is get married with that ring before she dies. And you know who plays the guy who's got the ring?
Who?
Remember the first season of American Idol? There were two hosts.
Yes.
Yes, the host who left.
Really?
After the first season, yeah, he plays the guy
what's
who's
his name?
engaged.
Brian, no, because it's Ryan Seacrest and something. It was like Hinkle or I don't know. Anyway,
yeah, wasn't it like Dunkelberg
Yeah,
or
it was something
Kinkelberg
like
or
that,
something
yeah.
like that? Yeah, yeah. But he plays the guy who's proposing to the girl.
Look, this is just more proof that do not trust anything I say. Maybe his name in the show was Joey.
No, it wasn't.
All right, here's
ChatGPT is just stupid.
Here is one of the most episode 147 of Seinfeld is one of the most famous Seinfeld episodes ever.
Oh, is it the bet?
No, it's like that.
Soup Nazi?
Yada yada.
Oh, yada yada. There's a lot of really good, like, classic episodes of Seinfeld.
Yeah, so,
but I still use yada yada.
Yeah,
to this day.
Seinfeld was a fantastic show.
Mm-hmm.
I will let you know, Caitlin just reacted to a Teams message that I sent to all the staff, so she may be coming on in the next couple of minutes. So
all right,
then we'll find out if we're actually getting sound or not. All right, so the other things that I have are the Cinema Archives things. You know, I will buy out the UGG store if you get any one of these.
All right.
But I like the name of this movie. So here's the movie. It's directed by Bela Tarr from 1994. I believe it's Hungarian, which is kind of why I don't know that you're going to get it. But here's the plot. On the eve of a large payment, residents of a collapsing collective farm see their plans turn into desolation when they discover that Eremias, a former coworker who they thought was dead, is returning to the community.
94?
Yes.
The Postman. I know that there was a foreign language film that won a bunch of awards like in the mid to early 90s called The Postman, but I don't know if that doesn't sound like it.
No, it's Satan Tango. It's one word.
Oh,
Satan Tango,
that's right.
Which translates
Satan
into
Tango.
Satan's Tango. Now you say that like you know anything about that movie. Have you ever heard
No,
of this movie?
not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. No.
All right. So here's the 147th greatest director of all time. I believe that he's French. He directed such classics as The Green Ray, A Summer's Tale, and Claire's Knee, which the poster for Claire's Knee is a picture of Claire's knee.
That's valid. That's valid. I can't pronounce because it's a foreign name, but I believe it translates to Satan's Tango.
Eric
that it?
Romer.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, Eric.
Yeah.
Good old Eric.
Good old Eric.
All right.
Yeah, hopefully 148 will bring us some greater facts. If not, we'll just have to, find a different thing to do here.
Caitlin just popped in, and I saw this sad look on her face when we were talking about the movies.
Oh.
So I think that look was, oh no, I missed the Pokemon.
She sure did. I guess she'll never know who Pokemon 147 is.
Oh, I was going to go. My light also just cut out, so I just turned bright red all of a sudden. So if you're watching the video, my ring light just cut out. Because it's one of those mornings. But it was Dratini, Caitlin. The dragon-type Pokemon that, as I told Rick, looks like a parasitic worm to me. It made me think of RFK Jr.
It flies, according to Caitlin.
Yeah, it grows to be 6 feet tall, we learned. Anyway, I don't want to rehash this for everyone listening.
Caitlin, did you hear what the 147th episode of Friends was? Let's just go back. Hi, everybody. I'm Rick Todd. Do you know I went to... One of my favorite shows I went to see was Mandy Patinkin was doing a concert in Daytona Beach. And I went to go see this. And he started the show, and there were like some empty seats in the front row. And so he told everybody sitting in the back row, he's just counting. He's like, there's like 7 empty seats. He goes, I want 7 people from the very top back row to come sit in the front row. And then more people came down. So he told them to pull out folding chairs and put them like on the stage and let people sit and watch the show. But then somebody like in the 3rd or 4th row came in like 10 minutes late. He was in the middle of a song and he stopped singing. And he was like, it looked at his watch and he goes, here's what you missed. And he did the previous 10 minutes in about 30 seconds and then got right to the spot that he stopped in, took a deep breath, and then continued on with the song. It was hilarious.
He's a class act, that Mandy Patinkin.
I'm a fan. I hope he wasn't in the Epstein files. I'd hate to let that one go.
I sure hope not.
No, he's such a good guy.
Yeah. And he lives in New York, so I keep hoping that he's one of those people on my list that I'm like, I hope I run into him someday.
Now, what is this list? You have a list of people you just want to run into, not like you're going to say
celebrities.
Anything to them. You just want to see them on the street.
I mean, I might let them know that I'm a fan, but just people I know that are in New York, like to the New York area. I know that they live in the city or they work in the city. But Mandy Patinkin, Robert De Niro. Lady Gaga. I know. I'm not sure if she lives in New York anymore, but I know she visits because I saw an interview where she said she visits all the time. And Sarah Jessica Parker and Matthew Broderick. I just want to see them. I just want to see them all just out and about window shopping. Maybe pop in and buy a pair of Uggs. I don't know.
Do you think you would? I feel like if they were out just shopping, that they would be in like big hats and sunglasses, and you wouldn't recognize them. Although there were some, like Ethan Hawke, I saw on the street. He was just
I've seen photos of Robert De Niro, and he just walks down the street like normal, like a regular human being.
Like he's not one of the top 5 greatest actors of all time, according to the list that I read on the episode I listened to yesterday.
Yeah. He is definitely one of the greatest actors ever. And I mean, he lives in Tribeca, as he does the Tribeca Film Festival. I've read that, if you're walking around Tribeca, you'll see him just walking around, living his life, doing his things.
Wonder where he gets this morning coffee. That's what you need to find out. Where do these people get their coffee?
I just need to spend more time in Tribeca. It's just such a long way away.
If you see him, will you yell, Bobby?
I mean, Bobby! Hey, Bobby!
Poor Whitney Houston.
All
right, so how was your week? What'd you do? Tell me. Entertain us.
All right, so my week, we talked about it at the top of the at the top of the show, but Caitlin missed it. But they're doing work on the building here. So they're going to be electricity. I thought might have started early because something flickered, and then when my light went off, I was like, "Oh no!" But then I was like, "Oh, I forgot to charge it." But they're doing electrical work here, so starting at 10 o'clock, the electricity will start flickering in and out. So that's why we're doing this early. But things are going good. Work, really good week this past week. I broke like $25,000 in sales, which is awesome. But I also heard some of the girls talking, and some of them had some like really good days. I was like, "Oh, I may be on the lower end," but that's fine. You know what? I'm in competition with me, not them.
That's right.
I don't care they don't know what bills I have, and I don't know what bills they have. But Macy's opened they do that big thing where like they do the big window displays. So they had the big grand opening last week of that, and that is just, I mean, they're packed crowds. And I usually on my lunch break I like to go sit out front of Macy's on Broadway because it's blocked off there, and they got a bunch of little tables, and they got some food carts and stuff. That's all blocked off because they've got the trailers up for the parade on Thursday. So now I have to do my break at one of the little metal gates, like a poor person. I can't sit down and enjoy Macy's.
That's not a miracle.
No. Oh, one of the Windows displays is a display of Miracle on 34th. They're really cool. They were like animatronics. They have this one where it's like 3 giant triangles.
Well, they better be cool. It's freaking Macy's in New York City.
But the front of them, it's Macy's storefront, and then as they turn, it's the inside. It's a miniature of Macy's, and they've got like the shoppers and the little stores and stuff. It's really cool. They have a big Santa that's reading a book, and he's like lifting it up and down. It's real. They do a really great job with that.
Do you know the greatest movie ever made about window dressings? About like this sort of thing you're talking about?
Shop Girl.
Mannequin.
Shop around the corner. Mannequin.
Nothing's going to stop us now.
Mannequin 2.
Electric Boogaloo. No. Isn't it like he wakes up and like he sleeps with her, and then like they wake up and they fell asleep in the window, and people are like, "Oh, it's so great!" It's like him naked with a mannequin.
Yeah, movies back in the 80s were just, I don't know what drugs they were on, but there are some wild ideas for films back then. Yeah. Like, let's drag our dead boss around for the weekend. That'll be funny.
That's when you didn't have to hide your cocaine use.
That's true.
That was the 80s.
True. So really good work week.
Do you watch the show Ghost? It's such a good show.
I know you keep telling me to watch it, but I have not watched it yet.
There's this. So the premise of it is like all the ghosts that die in that house or on that property, like wherever you die as a ghost, if you don't, as they say, get sucked off to heaven, or if they don't go down on you to hell, then you're stuck in the house or in the property that you died in. Like one girl died in her car and she couldn't leave her car. So they're all there. So there's like this Victorian sort of, or like, rich old lady who had a bunch of service. Anyway, she does nothing the whole show but like talk about cocaine. It's so hilarious. She's like, every time somebody's sick, she just quietly is like, "Oh, give them some cocaine, they'll be fine."
Could you imagine dying in like a phone booth or an elevator or something and being stuck in there for all of eternity?
Also, whatever you have on you is what you keep forever. So like this one lady dies and she had candy in her purse, and they were all so excited. They're like, "Open it so we can smell it." And if whatever you had on your person, you like, so if somebody ate the candy, then the candy would come back up out of them and into the purse. Ew. Because like whatever you have on you stays on you. So one guy gets shot through the thing and he pulled the arrow out and then let go, and it went right back in. It's a funny, like, doesn't this sound hilarious? It's funny. It's not bear funny.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine if you died naked in a phone booth with nothing but a butt plug on?
I'm gonna tell you, there's a character. He's kind of good looking too, who died with his pants off, and so like every time he raises his hands, like they blur out his penis because he's got no pants on.
Poor guy.
Anyway, that's that way. There's a gay character in it too, so we should cover it.
We'll see. We'll see. What season are they on? I don't like catching up on things that have more than 2 seasons.
It's only a 30-minute show, so what are they, like 20
Oh.
minutes per episode to
Oh,
watch?
okay.
And they're really good. I think it's the 3rd season, maybe. It's good.
So the other thing I did this week, I worked a ton this week. So the only other thing I did, we'll talk about the movie we went and saw, but I went and saw Wicked for Good, and I want to talk about the theater experience. So for those who do like go to the preview or the opening nights of any Marvel movie, you will understand what it's like to see a movie with super fans. So like with the Marvel movies, they cheer, they scream at the screen, they get all hoop hollery, and that's expected. You expect that. So I went and saw a pre-screening, one of the Amazon pre-screenings for this. And so I expected a certain amount of hoopla from these folks because it was an AMC. It's the AMC in Times Square, so it's near Broadway. And I knew it was going to be all theater folk there. So I expected a little bit.
Maybe Bellany was right. Maybe 45 is old.
Yeah.
Hoopla.
I'm not disagreeing. Hoopla is a wonderful old people word, and I love it. So I sit down. I didn't go up these for a moment. I just want to talk about how excessive these popcorn buckets have gotten, and dare I use the word stupid. They are ridiculous. So I saw them all there. They have like that book, her spell book that's like a triangle that unfolds. It's like 2 little shallow popcorn buckets, $50. I'm not paying $50 for. What do you do with these things after you're done showing people? Yeah. Look how much of a fan I am of the movie.
What do you throw away all of your dishes so that you can put your 5 popcorn buckets in your cabinet? I mean, they're so huge, and how much they're like bulky huge. They're not huge like they hold enough popcorn. How much popcorn do these things even hold? I want nothing but like thin cardboard and popcorn. That's it.
Yeah. There is this one TikTok girl who collects them, and she started a TikTok series of things that I'm going to use my popcorn buckets for. So there's one when Superman came out, and it's Crypto, and his mouth opens, and it's like the whole dog, and you open his mouth, and you put the popcorn in there. Apparently the head is just the right width for a roll of toilet paper. So she put it in her bathroom and put the toilet paper in there so you slide the toilet paper out of Crypto's mouth.
Oh, that's good.
I thought that was cute.
Now, I do know that there was a bucket for like Dune or Dune 2, and I know what people use that for.
Yeah. So people are finding ways to use these. The Wicked ones, I don't know what they're using them for. But I was like, I'm just getting the regular popcorn bucket, just the cardboard one. Got me a soda and got me some Twizzlers, and I sit down, and about 4 seats away from me is a person who is talking to a lady in front of me. So 1 row up, and maybe like 4 or 5, 6 seats between us. And they're having a conversation. And based on this conversation, I learned that they just met because they introduced themselves. The lady in front of me, who's all decked out in glitter, and has a black t-shirt on that says Wicked, and she's got glittery boots on. She misgendered the individual who's, I found out in the conversation, is non-binary. She was very nice about it because she was like the one in front of me. She's like, girl, this movie is going to rock. And the non-binary person goes, not a girl, but anyways. And I was like, well, okay. She didn't know.
Right. Is that
Why are you calling her out like that?
Is that the best way to inform somebody?
Yeah, but the girl in front of me was very nice, and she's like, "Oh, my apologies," and they went with the
also, I say "girl" to everyone, like "girl," especially if that's the context that you're going to say it.
Yeah, me and Chris say it all the time. Also, when we're gossiping about other people, whether they're guys, girls, non-binaries, we say "she" for everyone.
Yeah, like
so
every time I refer to something that's not a person, it's "she."
Yeah. So anyway, they're having the conversation, and in this conversation, I learn that the non-binary person hates it here in America, and that they have been to London a couple of times, and that London is the greatest city in the world, and going on and on and on. And they kept dropping, like, I won't use names, but we know people like this in the community who have to one up everybody. So the girl in front of me is like, "Oh yeah, I went and saw I forget what show she went and saw." And the non-binary person goes, "Oh yeah, well I'm a theater major and I'm trying to get my master's at this college in London and I'm best friends with I forget his name, SpongeBob. He's in the movie Wicked, Ethan something."
Oh yeah, he's Tin Man.
Yeah. And they're like, "Oh, well, I know them. And they read one of my plays and they said that I'm masterful and I'm great and blah, 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 blah." And then the person in front of me, after all of this, still wanted to be their friend and was like, "Oh, what's your Instagram? I'll hit you up." And they said, "I don't use Instagram. I stopped using Instagram once I posted my photo of me and the greatest musician ever, Chris Martin from Coldplay." I was like, it's never going to get more peak than that. And I was like, this is what they mean about don't go to New York. It's terrifying. This is the terrifying they were talking about is the smug, uppity Broadway people. And it was just,
don't you want them to have to pay to use the bus?
Get off my bus. Don't ride my bus. Go ride the double decker in London.
Yeah, I get what you're saying about it. Reminds me of that SNL skit where every time they have that apartment meeting, then there's the one person that tries to one up everybody, and it's like, and that cracks me up. But in real life, not funny, not cute.
In real life, it sucks. Anyway, so the lights eventually go down and they stop talking. They, both of them. So I'm like, oh, thank God the movie's starting. And as the movie gets started, the two seats next to me are empty. That's when they decide to show up. They showed up late. And they come in, and I know it was a gay and his gal pal. And I know this because in the film, during the Jonathan Bailey scene, the gay guy next to me verbally says to the whole theater, "That's my husband."
I doubt it.
Okay, cool. I don't think it is. But even if it is your husband, shut up. The movie's
And
on.
if it is your husband, show some respect and show up on time.
Yeah. And again, I support everyone in who they want to be and how they want to dress and what they want to do with their appearance. But the individual next to me had a big orange afro and looked like from Madagascar. That's what their hair looked like. It was bright orange. And they were, dressed as you want. They were all decked up in their Wicked costumes, and it was great. And they were singing along and cheering, which I know if you had seen, you would have walked out. You'd been like, we'll go see another showing. You would have walked out.
Jeremy, listening to you talk about this, I've already canceled my flight to New York tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm not coming.
Yeah, you're not
coming.
You're not going to like it.
Also, I didn't know when what part of moving to New York made you hate the queer community so much.
I don't hate the queer community. I just want you to be normal. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, totally kidding.
Kidding.
We are a queer podcast, so yeah.
I do need you to not talk during the movie, and I need you to be self-aware.
Yeah.
Listen,
everybody, be self-aware.
Don't one up, and don't make it always about you.
I just want to say this in general. If you're a super fan of something, which, you could argue that I'm a super fan of Air Supply. When I go there, and I know at a concert, it is totally okay to sing along. That's what you expect. Mm-hmm. But I just mouth the words, right? Because I know that you're there to hear them sing. It's just respect, politeness. If you're a super fan of the show and you cannot contain yourself, do not go. Or buy the whole theater out and just be you.
Now, like I said, I went on one of the special pre-screenings. I anticipated a certain amount of this, and it doesn't bother me. Like I said, when I go to the Marvel movies, I get hyped about it. I like the cheering. I like the excitement.
Yeah, cheer and everything. Like when I would see it, and we'll get into all this later too, but Elphaba sings a song, and it was like so powerful that afterwards everybody was clapping and like saying to each other, "Oh my God, that was amazing." That was fine. But like if you're singing along, no. Mm-mm.
Yeah. The only other part that people got really rambunctious about was a certain scene after my seat partner's husband, Jonathan Bailey, has sexual intercourse with one of the characters. Stay tuned. We'll get into that. there's a scene where he's kind of laid back in what I guess that was a bed or whatever kind of bedding they
A
were.
bird's nest or whatever she sleeps in.
Yeah, it was like a bird's nest or something. And he's got one nipple exposed. That theater lost their shit over that nipple.
Did you watch this in like Chelsea? Where were you?
Times Square.
All right.
And they were going nuts over his nipple, and they were cheering and panting. Some of them I did not want to look because I don't know what they were doing over this giant nipple. But you know, I mean, he is the sexiest man alive right now, so I get it.
You know,
but yeah, they were going nuts.
Sometimes
over
they
the
get
nipple.
it wrong, but they got this right. He is a sexy man.
Yeah, he is. But yeah, they went nuts over that nipple. So that is all I have to say about my experience. But yeah, so that was my week. Like I said, mostly just working. Experienced quite a rambunctious movie-going experience. But it was good. It was good. How was your week?
My week was fun. Can we talk rats? Let's talk rats, just real quick.
Oh no, are they back?
It's not even written. Jeremy, you say that like they ever fucking left.
Ever went?
You know, and I'm not going to say the name of this company because I'm not going to trash them, but I'm just going to say again, I remember the sales guy. I know exactly where he was sitting on the couch when he said to me, $1,800. It is our job to get rid of them. We will get rid of them. And I was like, that's what I want to hear. So, so this guy comes out a couple weeks ago. Again, it's like the 8th, 9th time. You call them, they'll come out. You know, I give them that. They come out and he says, oh, I think that there must be, it's just weird. I've described this before. It used to be a house with a flat roof. And then they put a roof on top of it. So he's saying that there must have been some sort of pipe that went into the flat roof that doesn't go above the flat roof. That must be open and they must be coming in and out of. And I said, isn't there a test you could do for that? Like you do smoke test. And he said,
yeah.
He's like, let me talk to my boss. We'll see what we can do. Well, then in the 2 weeks since then, or actually just even in the last week, we've caught 3. And I'm not going to pretend they're mice. Like there was one that was the size of the big rat trap that we caught. And
yikes.
So I texted him because he had mistakenly texted me, and now I have his number. And I said, "Hey, what's the deal? I've never heard back from you. Just talk to your supervisor." And all he said was, "Yeah, we don't do the smoke test." And I was like, "Well, what do you suggest?" Because we're like they're all over the place. What do you suggest? Crickets. Nothing. No response. So, like we've gone and I mean, it was like for 3 days in a row, it was like one every day, which is great because I found a way to catch them. Not so great what I've done. And this is a terrible story and I shouldn't tell this, but I put cameras up all over in the attic so that I can see. I'm just trying to track like where they're coming from. And so I can kind of narrow this down to help this process along. And it was like, oh, I saw one and I thought maybe it got caught in a glue trap. So I went back a couple and no, I had the misfortune of watching a video of the mouse getting caught in a trap and then lost it. I almost started bawling. Like I gasped and I just threw my phone. And I was like, I can't go up there. I was like, this one, Dylan, you have to go get. I can't get up there. And so, I mean, like, I wasn't so hurt that I didn't go out and buy 6 more and put all the way around. But it's I just got to get rid of them. I don't know what to do at this point. I was up there for 30 minutes last night, walking around. I mean, we're going to get to the point where I'm going to start sawing the flat roof off and trying to figure it out. But
I mean, you can try this if you want. I've known this to work in the past. But when you catch the rats, if you remove their heads and put them on pikes up there as a warning to other rats, it worked back in the Middle Ages as a warning to the other rats, they will leave.
I'm not even kidding you. We left one there for like a day. It did not deter them. There's like one in a trap. I have a video of a rat like eating the beef jerky off the trap that I set. It's just sitting there like nom 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 nom, and I'm like, why? I thought you were going to say
eating the beef jerky off the dead rat.
But I mean, I found a way to attract them and get them. So hopefully it's gonna end soon. We'll see. But in good news, we got the permits submitted for the work that we're getting done on the house, and it's moving along. It's very exciting. Listen, if I know anybody that listens to this podcast that works for the city of Orlando, I'm not going to say your name. I don't want to say anything. Just, if you're listening to this, what I need you to do is I need you to go to the permitting office. I need you to push it along. It's in Jen's name. Just push it along. Like, we don't need 3 weeks to go by. Let's just get this thing done and out the door. So this way I don't have to text you or call you. There's where nobody's getting in trouble. Just, go look up Jen's house, look up her name, push it along. But it's exciting. And even today, I got a text message this morning. Today, they're sending somebody out to start cutting the pathway for the piping that they're going to put in. So it's starting today.
Oh, nice.
So I guess there's work that they can do before the permits are approved. Now, if the permits don't get approved, it's going to suck because, we're going to have holes in the ground. But, I mean, why wouldn't they get approved, right? So that's exciting.
Yeah.
So my week wasn't as busy as I thought it was going to be, but we made it that way, right? So Dylan and I fly out at 6 a.m. There's a meme going around where there's this picture of this like really tired woman in an airport drinking coffee, and she's got this miserable look on her face, and it says, 5 a.m. at the airport. But I saved $47 on my flight. You know what I mean? It's so ridiculous because this is what we've done is we've booked a flight at 6 a.m. And so it's going to be miserable getting there. But so we're going to his aunt and uncle's house in Nipple for Thanksgiving. Our job is to make a dessert. So that's, of course, right. They know us. They know this is what we love to do. So this is what we're going to do. We decided, of course, because we can't make a dessert, we have to make all of the desserts. So we spent a couple of days making cookies. And I got to tell you, it's our best work yet. I'm actually going to post these pictures. If we were recording at 9 and I had the extra 30 minutes, I would have gotten this all prepared and I would post it right now. But I'm going to post a photo of the cookies. Let me see if I can pull it up just to show you all that are watching. Who did I send it to?
While you're pulling those up, I did remember something else I did this week. I went to. Oh, those are cute. I just saw a glimpse.
I can't tell.
Very cute.
You can see them. Oh, I've got it covered up here. Let me go over here. So we made leaves, like fall-colored leaves, and then we made a pumpkin, a turkey, and a piece of pumpkin pie.
Pumpkin pie.
That pumpkin pie is fantastic, and the pumpkin pie and the pumpkin tastes like pumpkin pie. So
very nice.
Very excited about that. Anyway, go with what you were reminded of.
Oh, I was just gonna say on my day off last week, I went to the UGG flagship store, and I dropped $400 on Uggs.
Really? You didn't even give the commission to a coworker. You went to
Well, that's because, the one I work at in Macy's, it's a small little like boutique Uggs. Love working there. It's nice, but much larger selection. So the Uggs that I bought at the flagship store, we don't sell at Macy's. Plus, I get 20% off at Macy's. I get 30% off at the Ugg store. So sorry. But I did. I'm becoming a shoe guy, but, are these not the cutest sneakers? I love these.
You know what I love about them? Those are
so
very.
Look,
those look great. And when you step in a puddle of water, your socks will be protected.
They will. Look at the size of those soles.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're fur. Oh God, I love them.
Well, good. Congratulations.
Anyway, I found like 4 other pairs that I want there. They're very comfortable. I'm not saying this just because I work there, but go to your local Ugg store and get yourself a pair of Uggs. It is comfort. Your feet will thank you.
So I don't know if you're aware of this. Danny listens to every episode of the podcast. And I know after listening to this episode, he's going to ask me a question. So I'm just going to answer it right now.
Yeah.
No, Danny, Uggs does not sponsor the podcast.
You know what? Uggs sponsors my New York life.
Yeah, there you go. All right, so we made those cookies, and we're actually shipping the cookies. We're going to overnight them today, so they'll be.
I was going to ask you, are you like in your carry-on? Or,
no, I mean we thought about like how we're going to get them there, but that's what we're going to do. Is we're going to if I had to put them on my carry-on, I'd eat them all. They're so good, y'all. Yeah. They're so good. I wish that you were here to eat the pumpkin pie ones because they are so good and they're adorable. Anyway, But that's not enough, right? So we're just shipping that up there. But when we get there, we're going to make
Yeah.
something. But we didn't know what we were going to make. We were thinking like some kind of bread pudding. And then we were thinking pineapple upside down cake, because that's what his aunt really likes. So what we decided to do was we were going to make a variety of things, and we were going to have people taste test them and tell us what we thought they should, or what we should make. And we saw on some cooking show that we've been watching, somebody made a pumpkin bread pudding with a salted caramel sauce. And
Ooh, that
then
sounds good.
there was we also had the pretzel bread pudding from Epcot, and we were like, hey, let's see if we can find a pretzel bread pudding recipe to do. And so we did find it, and it's a knockoff version of the Epcot one. So we made pretzel bread pudding, we made pumpkin bread pudding, we got salted caramel sauce. We also made a vanilla cream sauce, and then we made little mini pineapple upside down cakes. And we had everybody taste test them. But we taste tested all of the things and decided that the pretzel bread pudding was way better than the pumpkin bread pudding. So we just then gave everybody pretzel bread pudding and pineapple upside down cakes, and they loved them. Like Bellany wouldn't stop. She was spoon feeding herself the vanilla sauce, and which is weird because everybody else was like spoon feeding the caramel sauce because it was delicious.
Yeah.
And so anyway, we decided what we're going to do is make the pineapple upside down mini cakes for his aunt, and for us, we're going to make the pretzel bread puddings. She just can't eat the pretzel bread pudding. So we're going to make both of them when we get up there. We're very excited about it. It's going to be a great trip.
Very nice.
We found out that we are going, when we get there, we're going to the opera and we're going to dinner. We're going to be in Newport the whole time, but on Black Friday, which, this makes total sense. On Black Friday, we're going to travel into the city on the biggest shopping day of the year to go to see the opera and go eat. I know I did tell you that if I can get to Macy's, then I will come to Uggs and I will buy a pair of Uggs from you at the store. We have not worked out whether that's going to happen yet or not. Trying to convince them to go early and then to go to Macy's on Black Friday will probably be a lot, but we're going to try. So we'll see.
All right. If you can't make it, it's not, I'm opening. So we're opening at 6 a.m. at Macy's. So I will be there at 5:30. And then the Uggs area that I work in is just women's Uggs. As I say about 100 times a day, men's Uggs are on the 4th floor. You can take the escalator.
Oh, so I wouldn't even be buying them from you.
So you wouldn't even be, unless you, now there are some unisex Uggs, but they are lady sizes. But there's some nice unisex Uggs there. If you do come by, I'll show you a few of those. But yeah, you probably would want to buy them from the 4th floor, which I don't get any commission
well, I
from.
just saved myself $300, and I'm very happy about that. Yeah. Maybe I'll hit up the big Ugg store, or maybe I'll find.
You should.
Maybe I'll find some faux Uggs. All right. So then Friday we went to St. Pete because our Remarkable People issue is coming up.
Very nice.
It's funny how, like, as I get older, or as like people come into the job and they become more active in the community than I am, I know the Remarkable People less and less. And so we went to do a photo shoot of Remarkable People in St. Pete, and then we went to the Equality Florida Gala, which was interesting because I don't know if you're aware of this, but Nadine Smith has resigned.
Is leaving,
from Equality Florida. She's going to work for another organization. So this was her last gala that she will speak
at. Is she staying in St. Pete, or are they moving?
She's staying, I believe.
Oh.
Yeah, because she said, her whole thing was that I'm not, it's my last, gala as an employee, but she'll be, a donor, a supporter forever.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I saw that she was leaving. I didn't know if she was just leaving Equality Florida or if she was leaving Florida.
I don't think she's leaving Florida. I could be wrong. It didn't come up, but she gave her last speech at one of the things, which of course she's always a great talker. It was like this weird, crowning of the king, like this coronation ceremony of her past and all the work that she's done, and then handing it over to the co-founder of it, who is now going to be the CEO. And it was just this highly emotional thing for everybody involved in Equality Florida. But it was really good. I will say Orlando is still winning. It's still the king of this event.
Yeah.
I mean, with the Oz entertainment and all that from this last one and the food and everything, really great. And again,
Yeah.
like they couldn't get the vegetarian plate right. I don't know why people keep offering vegetarians meat. Like they don't coordinate with each other. Don't give this person's vegetarian, and then they're like kept trying to give
Lord.
her meat. Anyway, Saturday though, I caught up some old friends. You remember Brenda and Mary, right? You met them.
Yeah.
So Brenda reached out like a month or two ago, and we were talking, and we haven't seen each other in probably a couple of years, or at least a year. It's been a long time. So we made this plans to go bowling and hang out and catch up, which I'm going to say, if you haven't seen somebody in a couple of years and you have a lot of things to talk about and catch up, bowling isn't the way to do it. Because it took us an hour and a half. We got the lane for 2 hours. It took us an hour and a half to bowl one game. So we had to add more time to bowl a second game. But it was really fun to hang out with them and catch up.
Nice.
Mary listens to the podcast and thinks,
hi, Mary.
and thinks that we're hilarious and that we should make a lot of money doing this. She asked a couple times. She's like, you making money on this? Like, you guys are hilarious. You should be making money on this. But, it's just, we're just, as I said in the episode that I listened to last night, we're just two schlubs with a microphone. So eventually maybe it'll be something where we're just doing live shows and touring. Wouldn't that be fun? Wouldn't it be fun if there was a podcast of two schlubs with a microphone critiquing our live show and telling about everybody how terrible it was?
Although I will be honest, maybe it's the age thing. When you were like touring around the country, I was like, that's a lot of traveling.
Jeremy wants to work at Starbucks 2 blocks from his house. I understand. We'll do it.
Jeremy gets very cozy in his bubble.
We don't want to throw people off, so we want it to look normal to people. So when we do the live shows, Caitlin and I will go to the theater and we'll use Riverside on a screen to log you in.
Nice.
And you can stay in your apartment.
Sweet.
I want to say this, though. At 50 years old, we talked a lot about age today. At 50 years old, there was a thing that I wish that somebody had said to me Saturday morning or before 2 o'clock on Saturday. And that is, if you are a man or a woman of a certain age and you go bowling for the first time in a long time, stretch.
Yeah.
And you know what's weird? Like, my back is killing me. It is. And I had to play 2 softball games yesterday, and I was like icy hot, like crazy, just to get through it. But it's not like back pain because my back is sore. It's back pain because my butt muscles are sore from bowling. And, it's great. Like, Dylan sent me this thing. He said, if you have back pain and things and nothing's helping, it's probably that you have your hips and your butt muscles, your glutes are tight. So do these stretches, and those totally help. So I know that's what it is. But stretch. If you're a person of a certain age, just stretch.
That's when I complain to my doctor of my back pain. That's what he says. Do you stretch? I was like, shut up and just give me a pill.
I mean, I have to reach for the remote.
Yeah.
Does that count?
I roll over on the couch. That gets things moving.
All right. Well, that was exciting as my weekends. I imagine next week I'll have plenty to talk about because for Thanksgiving I'm traveling. We're there through Sunday, so. Right. I wonder how I'm going to watch whatever we're going to watch next. I'll find a way. When we figure it out, I'll find a way. Maybe I'll go to Times Square and watch a movie.
No, don't.
Speaking of movies.
Don't do it. We watched a movie.
We did.
We did.
We already,
Wicked
the cat's out of the bag. We know what we watched. Wicked for good.
Can I just say right off the bat, and they did this with the last 2 Mission Impossible movies. Because if anything, I'm all about consistency. I like consistency. So the first one is called Wicked Part 1. And instead of calling this Wicked Part 2, they called it Wicked for Good. And that drives me up a wall.
How do you know which one to watch first?
Yeah.
100 years from now, how is anybody going to know which one to watch first?
I mean, I'm assuming you watch Part 1 because it's 1. But if you're going to call something Part 1, you have to call the next one Part 2. You have to. Anyway, that right off the bat irked me that they changed the name. They did the same thing. Remember, the last 2 Mission Impossible was split, and it was Part 1, and then it didn't do very good. So they're like, oh, it must have been the title. So they changed the title. It's like, it wasn't the title. The last 2 just weren't very good.
Before we get into this one, I want to say that last week I did go back and rewatch the first one. I say rewatch,
Okay.
but as I watched it, I did this game with everybody about every scene. I let them know whether I saw that scene or didn't see that scene because I slept. There were way more scenes I didn't see than I did see. And so
this is the first time you've seen it again?
yeah, this is the first time I've seen it again. And
I've seen the movie like 9 or 10 times.
Okay, it was good. It wasn't 9 or 10 times good. I mean, that's 3 weeks of your life right there. It's not a short film.
After I've seen a movie 2 times, it mostly is just background for me while I'm on my phone. So I've seen it about 8 times in the background.
Okay. I just want to say that I do owe everyone involved in Wicked a huge apology for sleeping through the first time and not getting it. You know, I told I think it was Ryan maybe I was talking to about it, and I said that I just didn't buy the relationship between the two of them. And I can't believe that I could say that having slept through probably the most consequential scene of the entire 2 movies. And that is the dance scene in the first movie. It was so incredible that I was...
Can I be honest? I cry every time I see that part.
Yeah, I was going to say, I did. I was just like, it was so, I don't know, endearing. It seemed like maybe Glinda isn't a terrible person, that maybe she does have a heart somewhere, and it just showed for that scene in the first movie, and then it was gone for the rest of it. But it was just like the emotion of it all, and that the appreciation of Elphaba was mesmerizing to me. And I loved that scene so much that I 5 Grapes loved that movie, and all because of that scene. You know, the rest of it was good and pretty and cool, but that was a moment that Broadway show could never capture. That it was just great. So apologies. It was good. I was wrong. Now we may move on to the second one.
And what were your thoughts on that one?
Do you want to start with Rotten Tomatoes?
Sure. Now, again, they have done nonstop for the past couple of weeks, talked about this movie, and then once it came out, they have nonstop talked about the box office and what critics thought, what audiences thought. So I don't know the exact scores, but I do know that they've been talking about them, and that critic scores are mixed. And I've heard people saying it's around 70% with critics, but that audiences, it's like almost 100. It's like 97 or 98% audience.
Well, as of when I looked at it, it was 69 critics and 95 audiences. And I just want to say, I just don't get, I don't know what the critics were looking at. Like, I don't understand. I went off about a baking show recently because there was this guy on a baking show that he won the first 2 weeks, and the third week he didn't meet their expectations based on how great he was the first 2 weeks. So they put him in the bottom 2, and they were like going to send him home. And I'm like, no, if you're going to judge him like by saying the first 2 weeks were so great, you should have done better, then they should also realize that he won the first 2 weeks, and that shouldn't put him in the bottom 2. It's just weird. So a lot of the critics' comments, because I went to read through them, were comparing it to the first one, which is why they rated it so low, which I don't get. Like, it's still a good movie. But I read this one, and like I put this one on here because just to get an idea. This person's whole review starts off, anyway, if you're planning to see Wicked for good in theaters, there's probably not much I can say that would dissuade you. Just go into it expecting that you might find this visit to the Emerald City disappointing. And I just find that crap. That's crap.
Yeah.
My review of your review is a Rotten Tomato. I liked it. I mean, I thought...
I will say, I'll say this. It is not as bad as the critics are saying it is. It's not as great as the audience is saying it is. It's somewhere in the middle. And that's not necessarily the movie's fault. I think anybody who's seen the Broadway musical will say that the first act is much stronger and better than the second act. The better songs, there's a couple of good songs in the second act, but the first act, I think separating it into 2 movies emphasized how very different the acts are. Like, the first one is a coming of age, tells the story of how Elphaba became Elphaba. The second act is all about Glinda. And my biggest thing that I didn't realize, because you watched the whole musical together, this separated. Elphaba's not in this movie very much, not comparatively to the first one.
Yeah,
This is definitely a Glinda half.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I agree with all of that. I think.
Shocking.
Yeah, I know. It is, what a turn. This is like a roller coaster. This podcast,
Yeah.
One day this movie sucks, and the next it's great. I will say that I think this of every Broadway musical ever. The second act is always better. The first act is always exposition, and the second act is the conflict and resolution. It always ends like the first act ends with the conflict. So of course, Defying Gravity in the end of the movie is like people are like, "Oh, that was great," and this is the end of the story. So no, you're not going to walk away with this big, incredible.
Yeah, but I think you can recognize, not you, I'm saying, I think you can go into a Broadway show and say that at least crafted musically, that the first half can be musically better than the second half. And I think that just goes with, the songs that you tend to remember more, like Popular or Defying Gravity, or the one where they're
as they do with any long movie,
loathing song.
As with any long musical, the music from the first act is all through the second act as well. So I think the music of Popular played throughout the whole movie. But
not the song. I think the songs in the first half are memorable, more memorable.
My favorite song from Wicked is For Good, and I thought that was stunning. And as good was very good as any song in the first act.
And I will say, in the second movie, when they're together, it's fantastic. I don't think Elphaba is given enough to do in this movie. Honestly, if you add up, I haven't added up the minutes. She is not in this nearly as much as she is in the first movie. And they're about 2.5 hours.
That's 2.5 hours by design. That's the story.
I get that. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's not a criticism to the movie. That's a criticism to the play, the musical. And I love the musical, but I do think that the first half is much stronger than the second half. Also, I think that this movie emphasizes that Michelle Yeoh and Jeff Goldblum were not the right cast.
They are the Russell Crowe of this cast.
They were easily, you could easily hide that in the first movie because they're not as front center stage with the music. This one, you can tell that neither one of them are great singers, and I'm not impressed with their acting in it either.
I thought Jeff Goldblum was cast well, as far as the acting goes. He kind of had that schmarminess down pretty well. I don't know if Michelle Yeoh was properly cast, but when she started, she had a whole song she sang, and I thought, this is a lot like Russell Crowe singing Stars in Les Mis. But I'll say, you've got Elphaba and Glinda, and Elphaba's movie was the first movie, right? It was discovering that there was this problem, and I'm a strong woman, and I'm going to take this on, and I'm going to do this. To me, the second movie was more about Glinda's transformation, which is why Glinda was.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, the second half is definitely Glinda's.
And that to me was good for me. I loved it because I did not like I give Ariana Grande a hard time because I was like, to me in the first show, I didn't think she was acting. I just thought that there was this terrible role, and it's just like, but more so than in any version of anything that I've seen of this, she completely transformed into an incredible.
She's a standout in this.
She's incredible,
and I'm pretty sure she'll win the Oscar for this.
And
one.
What it did it for me in this was the scene when I don't want to give anything away, but if you don't know the story of the Wizard of Oz, it's been a couple. So, but when the house falls on the sister, that scene when they're both there, and that fight scene was hilarious and fascinating, and then and how it all ended was just showed in that one scene that she has the acting chops and she deserves whatever happens. Whatever she gets for this, she deserves it. She was incredible. And it was good to see that. I was confused about something, and I'm not going to give away the ending because I know there are people that shocked. I will mention, I'm surprised that people don't know this story as well. And so at the end, when there was this big reveal at the end, this entire row of children next to Jen gay gasped. And it was hilarious. And we just laughed. It was endearing. You know, we had that experience where right before the movie started.
The one about Elphaba or the one about the wizard?
Elphaba.
Oh, okay.
So the movie's about to start, and this like family of like every cousin, aunt, uncle, parent comes walking in, and there were like 18 of them. So we had bought the 3 seats in the middle. And so they had to buy the seats to the left of us, and then they had to buy 1 seat to the right of us for the whole family to fit in. And they were trying to get this little girl to sit next to Jen, and she wouldn't want to do it. And we realized, because we overheard them say that, oh, we had to buy seat number 17 as well. And so we were like, we'll move so you can all sit together. And they were like, oh, thanks. And then I kind of muddled, well, keep that in mind when the movie starts and don't talk to the whole thing. And I was just like, because I was thinking like the worst thing that can happen is that you get sat next to children who sing the whole show. And they didn't, which was great. The only thing they sang was For Good. Although Jen said they did know all the words to all the other songs, but they only loudly sang For Good, which was really cute and nice. So they gasped at the end of it, which was cool. But without giving away the end, I thought that that what happened at the end was something that Glenda was involved in from watching the musical. I realized that I was wrong, and because I looked it up and I was like, oh, I was wrong. But I don't know how I missed that. But anyway, I thought the way that they did all that was good. The movie ends differently than the musical. And I'm glad it ended the way that it did. The very, very end.
I won't give the ending away, but I'm pretty sure that the ending confirms that Dune is in the Wicked universe.
Right?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I heard faintly as the ending was coming, the credits rolling, and then the sandworm comes out. Yeah.
There were
very Dune-like ending.
Now, as much as I did like this, there were some plot holes. I feel like
there always is.
But I have this question for you.
Mm-hmm.
How much do they learn in 1 year at that school, Shiz? Because Caitlin, did you go see this? Have you seen it? It's just you have to shake your head, or no, you haven't seen the movie.
Not the movie.
So they all go to Shiz for 1 year. And apparently they all graduate because now one of them, who was a freshman, is the head of the guard. One is the spokeswoman for the entire Oz.
Well, they don't specify what the time jump is between Act 1
They say something about
2.
12 something, and you can assume it's like 12 cycles of the moon or something. The theory is that it's 1 year. But you would think it's been 10 because how one's the governor. Like and I think she just inherited the role, like her father
Nessa
dies at the end of the first one.
He dies at the end of the first one, and then Nessa inherits Munchkinland, and then takes Bach on as her manservant, but she's in love with him. She's a funny way of showing it.
Terrible human being. That
horrible.
Character is.
I will say
that is the real evil witch.
Yeah, I thought. Ethan, whatever his name is, who played Bach, I thought he did great. I thought I don't know if it was makeup or CGI or a combination. I thought the Tin Man looked great. Yeah. I thought the effects were really good. They did that scene where he becomes the Tin Man, and Elphaba, I don't want to say curses, but magically makes the shoes make her fly. In the musical, she gets out of her chair and walks. And apparently they change it to flying because the actress who plays Nessa didn't want it to come across as ableism. Because apparently she's in a chair, but I guess she can walk and stand. But she didn't want it to come across as ableism, so they made her fly in this one instead. And then she does what she does to Bach, poor little Bach. But I thought that was all handled really well. I kind of like that whole.
Well, it's interesting to me because, I mean, as a friend of Dorothy, I mean, the whole thing about the Wizard of Oz is that the Wicked Witch of the West made these magic shoes so that her sister could walk, which is why they're so important, and why the whole Wizard of Oz is about her chasing her down to get the shoes. So it's just with taking that out, you sort of lose that whole meaning.
Yeah, I mean, she made them magic flying shoes, which I guess is, it's split hairs to me at that point. They're still magic shoes.
That's another thing. That's another plot hole to it. It's like, why then, if she has these magic shoes that she can fly, when Bach leaves and she goes to look for him during this tornado, why didn't she fly? It would have been faster.
Because we still wanted to show her in the chair. We're trying not to be ableist, Richard.
I mean, it's a fictitious movie. So
something else with the movie. They introduced 2 new songs. What'd you think of the songs?
They were fine. I honestly,
oh my god! I wrote down both songs. They're okay.
I didn't. To be honest with you, I know 3 songs from Wicked, and so I couldn't tell you which ones were not, or I couldn't tell you which ones were the new ones.
Oh, yeah. Really?
I mean, I don't listen to the Wicked soundtrack ever. I just know it from seeing the show, and I don't memorize which songs are in it. So I like Popular, I like Defying Gravity, and For Good. So if those I know were original to the musical, but every other song.
I mean, if you've seen the musical, the way that they're set in the movie, you can tell that they're the new songs because they're set up like little music videos in the movie. So the first one is No Place Like Home from that Elphaba sings, which is, and I get that you want to go for the Oscar for Best Original Song. Both of them felt dropped in there like just willy-nilly. Like there's no real reason for them in the story. And then the second one is Girl in the Bubble, which is where it's a cool effect where the entire scene is shot through, like they're going through different mirrors while she sings, but it looks like a music video that's just kind of plopped in the middle of the movie.
Yeah, so that was definitely a director's choice. I did read some things, he wanted to change Popular to be a little more R&B like, and Ariana
Grande said no. Yeah,
she's like, I am playing Glinda. I'm not Ariana Grande playing Glinda.
Yeah,
Brenda.
She's
Glinda.
I read that it was Steven Schwartz who said he wanted to retool the song for her, and not the director. And she said, I'm a super fan of the show and I want to do it as Glinda. I don't want the character built for me. I want to become that character. Which good on her. She recognizes, that she's coming in and playing that character. And like we said, she did great. The only other thing I want to mention, even though I love him and I think he's amazing, what was the deal with Jonathan Bailey's eyes in this?
Were they cross-eyed?
He was like wide-eyed the entire time.
When he was
driving me crazy.
When she was like right here and they were talking and they were like in the bed or whatever, he looked like he was looking at her like
the bridge of her nose or something. Yeah. But no, he's wide-eyed the entire time. He looks like he did a bunch of cocaine right before the old action.
Maybe he watches Ghosts.
But he's just very wide-eyed.
Yeah.
I also learned that apparently the name of the Wicked Witch's castle is Kiyomoko. I kept seeing that in my notes when I was looking up the movie. So apparently her castle had a name. I didn't know.
It wasn't Grayskull?
Yeah. No, different movie. We'll talk about that one next year when that movie comes out.
A couple of things I want to mention here. How does anyone watch? I mean, how does anyone watch this movie and not think to themselves, "This is direct commentary on Donald Trump"? How do you watch this and not say the wizard is Donald Trump? And what's the other character's name? Michelle Yeoh. What's
Madame Morble?
Pam Bondi. How were they?
Yeah,
I did like. I don't even. I mean, especially in this climate, it's just like they took like 2025 and turned it into a musical to show people like, hey, this is how you control. Like, how does somebody who's like a MAGA person not look at this and say, oh, I'm an Ozian? You know, like it's just
Yeah.
or maybe they're saying like how do liberals look at this and not see that they're brainwashed crazy people. I don't know. It to me it's like so fitting for this time and for something that was written so long ago. But I guess like the theme of it is, you know, controlling people through fear,
Yeah,
and
I mean, it
that's
doesn't
universal.
change. The original musical, when he wrote it, Stephen Schwartz says it was about the Bush administration. So,
Wow.
and the book originally goes back to the Clinton administration. So it's always had that political theme to it. But all it does is show you that in every facet that they movie, book, musical, that the government is always corrupt and the government is always pushing you down.
Yeah. I'm gonna give this I'm gonna give the movie 4 grades. I'm gonna try to run through some things real quick that I wanted to say, just because I don't want, if your electricity goes out, it'll be hell for Kate.
Yeah.
Because we have to make sure that your entire video uploads before that happens.
Yeah.
But here are some things that I read about that I found interesting facts about the film, and that is that they offered to do Cynthia Erivo's makeup as CGI, and she said no, even though it took 4.5 hours every day to put her in her makeup. She wanted to do that. Did you know that they used real tulips? Like those fields of tulips?
For the fields? Yeah.
They planted
those are all real.
9 million
John Woo
tulips.
came into this wanting to be as practical with the effects as he could. He knew there was going to be an aspect of CGI that they had to do, but anything that they could do practically, he insisted that they do.
Yeah, and so they used the tulips as the housing. Like once they filmed it all, they used the tulips for the housing of the Munchkin Land, which they expect will be a tourist attraction moving forward. They sang live. Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande said no, the whole cast is singing live. We want to do that.
Have you seen the video of her do that, like the behind the scenes of them doing Defying Gravity, of her on the ropes and her singing? You should look it up. It's
makes
amazing.
me go to the next thing. Cynthia Erivo did all of her own stunts, including flying around during Defying Gravity. Did you know that Nick and Joe Jonas both auditioned for the role of Fiyero?
Did you and I watch the same TikTok?
No, I'm not. I'm reading these off. I Googled these things.
Yeah, I saw a TikTok last week where they were going over people who had auditioned for the various roles. And they talked about the Jonas Brothers.
So the success of the Broadway show, it's the 4th longest running show in Broadway history, and the 10th longest in London's West End. It's won over 100 international awards, including multiple Olivier and Tony Awards. I found this interesting. A single stage performance of Wicked uses 250 pounds of dry ice, which is enough electricity to power 12 homes. All very interesting. Did you know that where Elphaba's name comes from?
FL Bomb.
Yeah.
The guy FL Bomb. Yeah, FL Bomb. The
LF Bomb.
LFMO, that band.
Oh, you're right. It was Steven Schwartz who wanted to modernize popular. Anyway, so LFB, Elphaba.
Here's something else interesting I learned about this. Before Stephen Schwartz turned it into a musical, the book was optioned, and Universal wanted to turn it into a movie. Guess who optioned the book and wanted to turn it into a movie and star as Elphaba? The one and only Demi Moore. And she wanted Nicole Kidman to be her Glinda.
Can she
sing? And then Nicole Kidman? No, this was before it was a musical. It was just going to be a movie. And Stephen Schwartz contacted Universal and said, please produce it as a Broadway musical. Let me do the music because I think this would be an amazing musical. And Universal Studios went with him instead of Demi Moore. And they turned it into a Broadway musical.
She could have had her comeback years before.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this was the late 90s, so that's when she was doing G.I. Jane, so it would have been her then. She was already a big star. But yeah. So I'll give it 4 grapes too. I liked it. Like I said, I like the first one. The movie is beautiful. It's beautifully shot. I really impressed with the effects and the makeup in it. And I'm sure it'll be nominated for a bunch of Oscars like it was last time. And I think Ariana Grande is going to take it this time.
I don't know who she's up against, but this could be well deserved.
Yeah. But yeah, good movie. Check it out. Watch them back to back, like Richard did. It's the whole experience. But yeah, so we're right on the clock there. So I might go out, but we'll be back next week.
We will.
Yeah. And until then, the cork is back in the bottle.